Everybody, and welcome to the Lawful Player Society. As always, this is Derek, and today we're going to be talking about immersion tips for your D&D games, specifically looking at props. One of the things that I've noticed, especially when I first started out DMing, was I had a problem getting my players invested in the game, and I had a problem transporting them from, playing in my basement to actually thinking that they were in the campaign world. And I think this is a lot of problems that new DMs have, and it's definitely something I struggled with. So one of the ways I overcame that was using props, and today in this video we'll be talking about some of the ideas I had about props coming in as a DM, and then some of the ways I've adapted those ideas into the game to help create this sense of immersion and transport my players into my world. So the first thing about props is they don't really have to be expensive. And they don't have to be super realistic. One of the biggest problems I had coming into the game originally was I thought I'd have to go out and buy these super awesome looking props that look super realistic and were just over the top. And if you look at some of the props that people sell, they're beautiful, like they have these beautiful tomes and spell books, but they're like $500, and I don't have that type of money, and a lot of DMs don't. So when you're thinking about props, don't think about these over-the-top, exquisite props. Think of the small little things that are either inexpensive or cost you nothing that you can throw into your games and give to your players that'll help kind of transport them into the world. Your props don't have to be super expensive. They can be little small things. So for example, one of the props you can pick up, and the things I use in my game, is when I give my players scrolls or messages that they've acquired within the game, I actually don't say, you found a scroll. I literally hand them a scroll or a piece of paper that looks something like this. As you can see, it looks old, and there's some writing on it. And even those small little things, that cost me almost nothing to make. Transport your players into the game because you're actually handing them a physical object. You're not saying, oh, you found this scroll. You're saying, you found this scroll and here it is. And then they can unfurl it, look at it, and, it kind of takes them there. They're no longer just their characters in the game, they're the characters in real life. They're discovering the scroll and opening it, and kind of they're able to touch it and, interact with it in a real world setting. One of the other things you can do for props, specifically your NPCs, you can give your NPCs certain things that they wear, so that when you're in character, if you use that item, they specifically know that you're that NPC. One of the things that I've done for a couple of my games that aren't really D&D based, but they're more gunslinger games, is some of the NPCs or characters have certain guns. You can pick up any types of guns or props for weapons and stuff at various stores. I got that one online on Amazon. That's a Han Solo blaster. That was a little bit more expensive because it was based off a real blaster. But you can pick up any type of gun or other prop for relatively nothing, and it's something that physical that you can hold in your hand that kind of represents this character, and it kind of accentuates your mind and theater of the mind and helps you become more of that character. I know my player characters sometimes like to use props because it's one thing to say I swing this axe like this, and then to actually demonstrate it and show everybody else, I swing my axe and come down on them, and it's completely different. So theater of the mind is great, but it always helps to have these props because they accentuate. Pictures say 1,000 words, and so do props, because it helps transport your players to different places, and it really gives that idea of imagination, of physical being, and something to latch onto. So even if my blaster that my NPC uses doesn't actually look like this, it's easier to kind of imagine it looking similar to this if I have a frame of reference. So one of the things that you new DMs should maybe be doing for immersion is giving your players these concrete items to help kind of immerse them in the game. And they don't have to be things like scrolls or weapons. They can be things like puzzles. You can make potions. Right behind me I have a couple bottles. I'm going to actually turn this one into a potion bottle here soon. This was like $1 at the dollar store. There's all kinds of things that you can use to help immerse your players, whether it's an actual physical puzzle. I know I've used a chess game before. One of my NPCs for my game was really into chess. and one of the player characters had to beat him in a game to get some information. So just doing those little things and taking the real world items that you have around you and incorporating them into your game somehow makes a huge difference. I mean, I have tarot cards behind me as well. You can do tarot readings. So it's really, these props kind of help bridge the gap between reality and your imagination, and they kind of put them together. And it's really helpful to your players and to DMs to help you kind of transport your mind into a figurative setting. So one of the biggest things that you should be doing is using these props to help kind of accentuate what you want to deliver to your players. These props kind of have a wow factor, and they show your players that you're going the extra mile, especially as a DM, and that you're really putting effort into bringing your characters into your world. And using simple props like that scroll make a world of difference. So that's the tip for today. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in to the Lawful Player Society. Once again, this is Derek. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Happy gaming, guys.